Let's play real life operation, and your patient, of course, will be Ma Terry. Take it away, Ma. Good morning, everybody. Ma Terry here, and as you can guess, I am home. Yay! I came home yesterday. Now then, am I supposed to be home? No. I'm supposed to be in skilled nursing facility for 2 weeks. Now, am I going to make this video all about me again? No. We're going to talk about planning while you're on the road. Okay. So I knew well in advance I was going ahead and getting this surgery done. That was April 7th. Should have taken me about a month to heal. That would have put me to May 7th. And I know we're not at May 7th now. So I had a wonderful place to stay at while I healed. Unfortunately, I have complications from my surgery, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But let's say you're going along, you're living in your vehicle. What are you going to do when you get sick? Do you have a plan? Do you have an emergency fund? Do you have family that you can contact? Believe it or not, getting sick on the road happens all the time. I did this thing with a professor who was doing her thesis on like the VA. And it's like, let's say I'm a patient of San Diego VA, and I have to be a patient of San Diego VA, and I have high blood pressure, and I want to go to the East Coast. This VA in San Diego will give me a 3-month supply of high blood pressure medicine. Now, let's say I'm traveling. I just can't use a prescription and walk into like a CVS store or anything. I have to go to a VA hospital. I could have them send me a prescription once to wherever I'm traveling to, but that depends on where I'm traveling to. But let's say I'm a member of San Diego. I get sick in New Jersey. I have to go into the VA hospital there. Now all of a sudden, they don't trust that I have high blood pressure or whatever my physical ailment is. I have to become a registered patient of that hospital. So all the paperwork has to get redone, tests have to get redone. It's a pain in the butt. So yeah, so I helped this woman with a thesis, and she's like, oh my God, that's crazy. And it's like, yes, it is. Getting medication on the road is hard, or getting met with a VA doctor is hard. But these are things that you have to plan of in advance. I told you, what was it? Almost 2 years, I broke a tooth in St. George, Utah. So I was there. They actually looked at my tooth, couldn't get any help through the VA hospital, finally made it down to San Diego, and the dentist here looked at my teeth, and they kept putting in referrals for me to be seen in San Diego. So what doctors did they align me with? Somehow the paperwork got messed up, and it was St. George, Utah. So they kept wanting to send me to St. George, Utah, which isn't so bad because they pay me to travel, but I'm not sure they're going to give me like $100 million to travel to Utah. So there's a lot to think about when you're on the road. And I know a lot of people have Medicare and everything. I don't know how it works. I know how my VA hospitalization works. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so let's say you get sick and you have to be hospitalized. All right, and a lot of us travel with dogs. What you gonna do with your dog, huh? Do you have friends? Me, I have Miss Lucy enrolled at PetSmart, the hotel. So any PetSmart hotel will do the paperwork. Believe it or not, like PetSmart, if I go in and get her shots through the veterinarian, the veterinarian's not allowed to give the hotel the records. It's a big rigmarole. So there is a lot of planning on getting sick. So plan on not getting sick, okay? That's all I can say for you. The other thing, we travel, we live in our vehicles. All right, so let's say I did go in for the skilled nursing facility, and I'm going to be in the hospital for 2 weeks. Some of you have an RV. Is RV parking okay on the hospital parking lot? What are you going to do with your RV? All of this needs to be planned. I think my biggest plan is what to do with Miss Lucy. And believe it or not, if they did, Mr. Louis is leaving. And I'm encouraging him to leave. I want him to go on a trip. So what do I do with my dog? And I certainly don't want to, even though PetSmart hotels, they've always been nice, and most of them have little cameras so you can watch your dogs. I don't want to do that. So luckily, I have a friend that would have taken Miss Lucy. All right. Being able to cancel your travel plans on a minute's notice. That we have it is a complicated life. Life on the road is very complicated. All right. So, also, have an emergency budget. I remember I thought I was coming down with the cold when I was in New York City, and saying I was camping at Floyd Bennett Field. It was raining constantly and everything. And it's like, you know what? I need a hotel room. New York City hotel rooms are like $300 to $500 per night. Well, I had to drive like 2 hours to Atlantic City, and the hotel room was like $25 a night over at the Tropicana. So always have an emergency plan. That's what I'm going to say about that. All right. Before I get into why I should be in skilled nursing, one of my viewers, I'm wanting to share with you how to cook on the road. Usually I cook with butane, but it's starting to get a little pricey. And I love my Hot Logic Mini. But you really can't make eggs in a Hot Logic Mini. It heats up to 165 degrees, which I can cook chicken legs and everything in it. But the eggs are a little tough to cook. Why? If you think about it, an egg is mostly water, so 165 degrees doesn't boil water, so it's not really going to cook an egg. So I was showing y'all I made a cheeseburger early one morning, and this is what I used, and this was $10 down at Walmart. And if you have, check with Jackery just to make sure. I checked with my Goal Zero. Okay, it does get confusing. But like I have a Goal Zero 500 battery, and I know for sure I can use this. This is called my mini noodle cooker and skillet. And basically I just put the bottom half is the skillet. You don't have to use the top half. But I just put my cold cheeseburger in there, and there's the little lid for it. Put it in for a couple of minutes, flipped it over, of course using the lid. And within 5-10 minutes it was done. So I had a nice little hot breakfast using this. You can get these online right now. They're on sale over at Walmart. It's made by Nostalgia, and it's my mini noodle cooker and skillet. So we're going to be doing a lot of cooking. I also got the pie maker, a little griddle. As we know, food prices are going up and up and up, and so is the cost of butane and propane, and I like having different ways to cook. I love the Hot Logic Mini. If I want to do a little TV dinner and I'm driving somewhere, it's nice to get somewhere, arrive there, and having some wonderful, what's my favorite one? Butternut squash ravioli by Lean Cuisine, to have a nice hearty lunch, set aside for you. Anyhow, all right, so I just wanted to show you that because one of my viewers asked about that. And the last thing, all right, so why do I need to be in skilled nursing thing? So let's look at the game of Operation.
This was such a fun game as a child, however, not so fun as an adult.
All right, so I have this big hole in my bread basket. That's a bad thing. And basically, I'm not going to gross you guys out. What it is there was a lot of fluids behind the skin. They took away the skin was all yellow. They took away the skin. All the fluids came out. It made this huge cavity, which is infected. So, medicine has to go in there. Towels have to go in there. It has to be packed full. And basically, it is a little painful to do. And if you touch the sides, when you're packing it, basically
you touch the sides
off like this. So the VA gave me a choice. Okay, so I can either do this at home by myself, pack my own wound, which of course wound care, if you talk to these people, they went to college for a few years, or I can do it. I can do it by myself at home, or I can be back in the hospital for a couple of weeks, and they wouldn't let me go to the hospital twice a day so they could pack my wound. No, I would have to be hospitalized, so twice a day they could come to my bed and repack the wound. And I'm like, what am I going to do with the other 23 hours a day? You expect me to lay in bed all day? I can't do that. And it's like, yeah. And it's like, doesn't it make sense for me to be able to just like go to the emergency room? Because our emergency rooms are different. Most of the times there's hardly anybody in there, but they can pack a wound right there. Or just go up to wound care clinic, let them do that. Why can't I drive to the hospital twice a day and let them do that? And they're like, I don't know, it's the rules. And I'm like, and I was set on that idea. But, I have a lot of friends helping me, talking me through this. I'll be able to get through this. Will Mr. Louis do it for me? Of course he will. But like I said, he's going on vacation, and I don't want him to worry about me. So, yay, I'm in charge. My other friends are going on vacation, and I'm not going to stop anybody. And people are like, well, why don't you just say, oh, why don't you cancel your plans and help me? And I'm like, because that's selfish. Why would two people be miserable? But I'm learning a lot. First they make it seem like so simple, like it's so easy to pack your own wound. But then when I started thinking, it's extremely painful. So it's sort of like, well, you're going to be doing this, and why don't you punch yourself in the face at the same time while you're doing it? So I'm learning pain care management, because I'm the type of person, unless I hit myself with a hammer really hard, I'm not taking pain medication. But yeah, learning how to do all this stuff is a thrill. So that's why I'm home right now. If it gets worse, I will put myself into the hospital. I do have a plan for Miss Lucy. Like I said, you got to make all these plans while you're traveling. Anyhow, I hope I answered everybody's questions. I love reading all your comments. Put things in the comments below. And the reason why I'm doing this late at night, I'm going to post it tomorrow morning, is I'm going to be at the wound care clinic so they can pack my wound early in the morning. Yay! All right. I hope I answered everybody's questions. See you guys down the road. Bye.